Okay, so the plan really truly was to call it a night, take my bath, and get myself to bed because I do have to work tomorrow morning. Um, but no, I'm going to get through this as quickly as I can. I do want to start building on the second piece in the Fang series. That's what I'm calling it for now because I don't know what else to call it. So I'm going to take what I've hopefully learned from doing the last one and start building on this one. So this doesn't require a bunch of narration, so we're not gonna. Just showing you what he's looking like. This is completely freestyled, so I'm changing my mind as I go along. Deciding on things as I go along that were probably other than I thought I was going to be doing starting out. And that's a really good thing, you know. I want it to be on track because you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, I always let you know that I struggle very much with proportions, with planning. So to be able to have gauged what I pulled off of a clump and what I was rolling around in my hands, and to now make that determination that, okay, what it felt like before, it needs to feel very different this time and much smaller, and then get that right is, yeah, something pretty close to major for me. You know, maybe not a big deal to you guys, but it's all part of the learning and growing process for where I am in this stage of discovering myself in sculpture, you know? It's getting dry, because I've got, you know, powdery hands, a lot of clay dust, so I'm just smoothing this out, little spritz of water. I think that'll work for what I need it to be. I'm going to add a little dab of slip to this part. I cross-hatched underneath, so I'm not going to worry about adding any slip to that, but I just want a little bit of a joiner, not much. You know, I usually go a lot heavier than this, but with these pieces being so small and what I'm putting together not having a lot of volume to it, you know, being pretty thin, I don't want to use a whole lot of slip because I feel like the clay is just going to remain so moist that it's going to be a problem. All right, so let me pick this up, see what I'm doing, because I'm going to pull away from this quite a bit. So I just want to make those connections right now. Make sure that this clay is nicely joined to what was existing. And I'll be pulling up and down for this. Whatever's clever, whatever's gonna make it happen, you know? And with this, I'm gonna press and flatten because I don't really want to take away necessarily. All right, going in here, just pressing in and joining and smoothing as I go. Sort of a half circle motion. And looking over on the side to see where that jawline would be for him. Just dipped into there in a way I didn't want to. Ooh, I felt like just a second ago I was breathing mad hard. Sorry if I was, and I was annoying you. Didn't realize it until all of a sudden I heard like the exhalation. It was just like, and then I was like, oh Lord, how long has that been going on? So I can't obsess over these ears right now, but you know, I want to make sure they're in place and that they make sense and they're not all mad close to the front of his face because they need to be on the side. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you see me get a little bit stuck in there. All right, so now it's time to slowly work this clay into the position that I want it to be. And a beard usually sort of comes out and extends from the chin, so I'm just sort of getting that in there, making sure there's enough room to show that, you know, he has a neck. That's what it's looking like from the side, 3/4 view, head on. I think I'm just trying to show too much of them too, and that's the problem as well. So let me just work on correcting that a little bit more before I stop for the night. Because I'm getting obsessed. It's happening. I can always feel it when it starts. Whew, this nose needs a lot of work. Oh my God. I'm seeing it as I get under the light, but it's just too soft to do anything with now. I'm just going to keep undoing what I do. So I'm going to have to wait until that gets a little harder, more leather hard tomorrow. And somehow I keep affecting the lips, and I don't know what I'm doing to make that happen. It must be something in the way I'm holding this at some point, and I'm not realizing it. I'm working this clay gently up and into that area. Because remember, you always want to make sure those parts that you joined, that they're solid and they are well connected, so that when this clay starts to dry and shrink, it doesn't pull away from an area because you didn't take the time to make sure that it was compacted and that that seam, that joining was very solid, you know? So I'm going to do some more pressing up. Move more of this clay up. And once I feel confident in that, I'll start to shape. And that's happening now. Now, I'm pushing up and scooching over. You probably saw him move just then to evidence that. Pushing upward, because again, I just joined this to this, and I want to make sure, that seam is solid. So I'm pushing up and forming at the same time, because this is going to be on a curve. Add the little water so that the clay doesn't stick to my hands as much and allows me to glide over it much more smoothly. Sorry if I push that too far out of camera range. You know, I get in the zone and I start building and I forget that I'm recording this, and it doesn't make any sense to record anything that you don't actually get to see because my dumb self moved out of camera range. So, again, sorry. And I'm just like a child. When I'm sleepy, I start to get clumsy. And I'm not really sleepy, but I am tired. You know, my body is like, all right, it's time for bed. You know, you had your nap earlier, but that wasn't it. You need your full, I don't know, I won't say 8 hours because that's always a lie. But let's just say 6. Yeah, it's time for my full 6. And as you know, before we can even take our full 6, we've got to get ready. We've got to take our bath, our shower, brush our teeth, lay out our clothes, all that stuff. So my body is letting me know right now that, yeah, it's time for you to start thinking about all of that, sis. So we're definitely coming to a close for that reason. All right, so we're going to stop here, and we're calling it at 1 minute and 26 seconds. So 1 minute and 26 seconds. See what I mean? 1 hour and 26 minutes. So we'll just call that 1 hour and 25 minutes. So it was almost an hour and a half. I'm very, very satisfied with the progress I made on this piece. It came together pretty quickly, and I'm looking forward to adding to this series. Looking forward to getting back home tomorrow and working some more on him. As soon as I walk in the door, I'll take him out of his bag, let him air dry so he can get nice and leather hard, and then I'll be able to go in and add detail. And you know what, let me wipe this table off before I show you what I'm going to show you so you can see where this is going. Again, I'm not that artist that can normally explain the rhyme or reason for the pieces, why I create the pieces that I do. The only thing I'm positively sure about is that it is always to exalt Black culture. Always. Always, always, always. There will never be anything negatively depicted about us in my work. About the only way that I could ever see something like that happening is if I were to depict how we have been treated historically. And there is actually a plan for something along those lines, but much more focused on what we need to be cognizant of and recognize at all times, that we are one. We truly are. Even if we don't realize it sometimes, we are so beautifully and perfectly connected And when more of us come together and revel in that and honor that, we're going to see a very, very distinct and very all-consuming change. And I hope that for you. I wish that for you. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to see it in my lifetime, but I damn sure want you to see it in yours. So anyway, what I was saying was that I don't normally have a rhyme or reason. So when people are looking for that artist that is going to tell you how they were influenced by some of the so-called greats, or that they have legacy pieces that have a nod to history or civil happenings, that's really not usually me. It's probably, if there's going to be anything, it's going to be subconscious most of the time. A vision will just pop into my head, and I go with that vision. I try to recreate it as best I can because I feel like it presented itself for a reason. So the vision that presented itself to me was, I remember seeing tooth necklaces back in the day, like way back in the day, and I guess it would be a tiger's tooth or a shark tooth, whatever it was an animal fang. And it usually had like a silver cap that covered the fang, and it was very simple, just on a string necklace. And the vision that presented itself to me was that same fang necklace, but with our representation atop it, up top the fang. So I was just like, yo, I feel like that's dope. You know, I feel like that would have a dope look to it. So I sculpted her, putting her down gently because she's still drying. Oh, I should put it towards the camera. So I sculpted her, and that was the very first piece in this Fang series. I really love the way she came out. She is actually, when I measured her, 6 inches long. I don't know how long she's going to end up being once the shrinking process takes place. But yeah, she's just a little under 6 inches long. And I rock large pieces like that happily. So then I wanted to make one that was smaller. My aim was to get to half of her size. Let's see how good I did, because it's my first time measuring it. So I'm sort of dropping the ruler down to how much space that top lock or the uppermost lock has. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna pull it in. And yeah, I ain't get much further. I went down by 1 inch because she's a little, lands right about here. I don't know what that measurement is. I'm sorry, it's just how I am. And this one just lands like right here, just before, you know, the 5-inch mark. So my plan was to do one that was half her size. This is not half her size. And honestly, I don't think I would have the patience to do like a 3-inch piece like this, because that means then that the head has got to be like 1.5 inches, right about there, and then the fang has to be right here. Can it be done? Yeah. Do I want to do it? No, because I feel like, you know, these pieces are meant to be observed and observed quickly. If you're rocking this, I'm going to see that and want to ask questions about it. And if it's too tiny for me to notice, I sort of feel like, what's the point? And maybe I'm not being smart, because maybe for the people who don't like their jewelry that large, I'm leaving out, you know, a whole group of people. But we'll see. Never say never. I might try to do a smaller one, maybe in a couple of days. You know I'm gonna videotape it, so I'll let you know. So anyway, your girl is getting ready to go to bed because, yeah, I feel the sleepiness, the tiredness just settling in. I also felt like I had a clean bag around here, but I guess not. But he still hasn't been cleaned up, so I'm just gonna put it right in here. Put him right in here. I'm not sealing it up because it doesn't need to not have any air get to it. The moisture will come out as it comes out. Thank you as always for hanging in there with me, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.